Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Your Mental Health Matters, brought to you by our Neutral Voices. All right, we are back at it. It's been a minute, guys.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy
2024.
2024 and February. We've been missing in action, but we back at it right now. So I'm happy. I'm happy to see you guys. Welcome back.
Yeah. You too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today's topic, we will be discussing seasonal affective disorder. That's something that a lot of people deal with, especially in the fall and wintertime months. And so we just want to kind of talk about what that is and how can we help people who are dealing with that, because that is a serious disorder, mental health disorder. So let's talk about it.
All right. Digging in.
Let's get it. So what is seasonal affective disorder? What makes that difference between that and major depressive disorder?
So it's the change of seasons and not enough sunlight can cause a form of depression.
Right.
So that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
And it comes about usually late fall, early winter. But then what I've also found is that it can show up on the opposite.
Right.
For spring,
summer,
and
all
summer.
set. Yeah.
You know, and they tend to have the opposite effects, you know, of one another. But it's a form of depression when we're not getting enough of the vitamin D and enough sunlight.
Yeah.
And that puts people into depressed modes. Not enough energy.
Right.
Sleeping too much.
Yep.
Those are some of the symptoms, but we'll get all into that.
Yes.
You're also, from what I was reading too, it's if you've had a history of depression, you're a little more likely to suffer from seasonal affective disorder as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So bipolar and
So yeah.
family history.
Yeah. So I know just not too long ago, we've been like in this season of like no sun.
Right.
You
Right.
know, a lot of gray skies.
They were saying it was like a 45-day stint
Wow.
with overcast.
Yeah, I believe that.
No sunlight. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And again, research shows that it
Yeah.
is more common in northern states than southern states, which
very
kind of
true.
goes back into the whole less light, shorter days. So yeah.
People not wanting to get outside, be
Yeah.
active because of the cold weather.
But we have to find ways to do that.
Yeah,
Even
very
if it's
true.
for a few minutes to get some of that fresh air, number one, and then getting more active. That's a big
Yes.
thing with anything we talk about as far as well-being. We have to be active
Right.
and increase those endorphins and boost the serotonin, boost the melatonin.
Very true.
Yeah, because what you find with the seasonal affect disorder, there is a decrease in all of those, and it's kind of related to being more active.
Right.
And then with the melatonin especially, because the seasonal affect disorder can affect your sleeping. You can find people that are sleeping too much.
Right.
And again, a sign of
Depression.
depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of similar signs with depression: the withdrawal, the isolating, the anhedonia, not doing the things I
Very
used to
true.
enjoy doing.
Lack of interest.
Yeah, lack of interest. And you're right. You should. I think exercise is important. Especially cardio, some type of
Right.
aerobic exercise, and avoiding like long naps in the middle of the day.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Because that's going to mess up your sleep schedule. And it's all about your circadian rhythm anyway. So
Right.
you're gonna sleep for 4 hours in the middle of the day. You ain't going to bed tonight. You know what I'm saying? So
That's very true.
yeah.
That's
And
It's-
then
very true.
when you're messed up with the sleep, that starts affecting other,
Right.
or causing other health conditions. When your sleep is deprived or out of whack, so to
Yeah.
speak. Yeah.
And people got to be really intentional about paying attention to this time of year. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like
Right.
all of a sudden they start to feel different.
Yeah.
And you got to pay attention and listen to your body when you're noticing like, okay, I'm sleeping more, or I'm isolating more, or I'm not doing things that I'm used to doing. And I think a lot of people aren't aware in the moment when that happens, especially coming up into the fall, going into the winter months.
Right. They're not aware, but
Right.
then they're less likely to say, hey,
Right.
there's something different. And it probably will take family member, and we've talked about
Right.
that before, to recognize that.
Yeah.
But knowing when to, and we'll get into the treatments and what we can do to offset those symptoms. So,
So do you guys believe that kids get impacted by this as well?
oh yeah,
Definitely.
teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teenagers especially.
Yeah.
And I think it's more prominent in young adults
Mm.
and women. And that's probably dealing with the difference in the hormones. Yeah.
So, what does it look like for a young person dealing with seasonal affective disorder?
Again, I'd say, the symptoms are a lot like depression.
Yeah.
Sleeping too much, not sleeping enough, eating too much, no appetite.
Right.
Anxiety,
Yeah, yeah,
That's a big one. Yeah.
moody.
yeah. Or then the snacking, like going for those calorie dense foods instead
Right.
of eating the vegetables. I mean, nobody wants to hear it, but yeah, eat your vegetables.
Please.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's another thing too. And if you think about it, winter months we're trying to preserve energy, with the heat loss and everything. So they say that during the seasonal affect disorder, or having that gives you more cravings for carbohydrates, which is like a fat builder.
Right.
Yeah.
If you think of hibernation, so you're eating those foods, so therefore you're going to gain weight,
Yeah, that's true.
and then all the issues that come with that.
Excuse me.
So
That's very
it kicks
true.
you into other conditions, not just the depression. Yeah. So that was
And then
interesting.
also with young people, slipping of grades, the grades may start to slip, may not be going to school, those are things that parents, we all have to watch out for if you had a young person attending school, especially during this time of season.
And then the suicidal thoughts, suicidal
That's a
ideation.
big one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Being mindful of them, being mindful of your own
Yeah.
daily living activities.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. So let's get into treatment. What are some things that we can help people with tonight? Anybody who's dealing with seasonal affective disorder? Again, this is the difference between this and major depressive is the onset. Realizing that this happens more in the fall, winter time. So we got to pay attention and listen. Like, we need to really figure this out. Like, how can we, be ahead of it before we get sucked into it?
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think it's about being proactive.
Yes.
Starting to, have a good schedule, have a good routine,
That's right.
especially going into those winter months. You mentioned, this getting outside and, getting that vitamin D, from the sunshine. So taking some type of vitamin D supplement
Oh, yeah, that's
might
a
be a
big
good
one.
idea.
Right.
I encourage all of my clients to take multivitamins, period. But, and speaking of, talking to professionals, therapists, counselors, but speaking openly to your doctor, to your
Yes,
primary
that's
care
a big
physician,
one.
Right.
because even if you don't feel that you have this issue, perhaps there's they see it from a different perspective. So,
Right.
but you got to have an open, honest conversation about it. So, yeah.
And some individuals may need medication, but again, that's by your provider.
Right.
Right.
Those things that you need to follow up with, and then photo or light therapy.
Oh, that's
That's
a
a
big
good
one.
one.
I'm glad
Do
you
that.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you've had history of it, before, kind of prep yourself for, in August, maybe July, knowing that the seasons are about to change.
Smart, very smart.
Just being ahead of the game in
Right.
prevention. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned light therapy too. They have those. I forget what they're called. They're like it's like a dawn simulator. So it's like an alarm clock,
yeah.
and it brightens as before the alarm goes
Very
off.
true.
To simulate dawn and waking up. So
I like that.
That might be something to kind of technology, man.
The beauty of it.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
fascinating.
And then making sure that you keep your windows, like the curtains and all that, open, so you can have that natural light coming in.
In the mornings,
Instead of sitting in darkness. I mean,
Right. Because we tend to sleep longer, again, hibernating.
very
Think
true.
about that.
Very true. So those are the key treatments, is that you got to be proactive when it comes to listening and knowing what your body is going through, especially if this is something that you're constantly used to doing during this time of year.
And we think about social withdrawals.
Yes.
And then if you're having a decrease in things that you like to do and not really caring for it too much more, like with the work, with school, and what have you, if that's changed, then that's one of the signs that you need to probably talk with your family doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's tricky too for some people because it's like you spend all that time with your family during the holidays, and you try to see friends and you're doing all this stuff, ripping and running, and so when that's over, it's kind of like you're over. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to see
Right.
nobody.
Yeah.
You just want to,
Depleted.
yeah, hibernate. You know. So I get it, but yeah, you're right. You got to be more proactive and connect socially. And one of the guys I train with, Dr. Connolly, says, "Connection alone poisons the air for despair." I think that's a great quote, man.
That's
Because
on point right
to
there.
have somebody right there with you that you're connected with, it's hard to
Right.
feel despondent and all alone.
That's very
You know,
true.
so yeah.
And then you have some that will go to substances
Yeah.
True.
to deal with their emotions and feelings.
Right.
Again, causing other issues
Mm-hmm.
with the alcohol use and the drug use.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to be into another realm of trying to get over that,
Right.
so to
right.
speak, eventually.
So, Salathiel, you made a really good point about the loneliness,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
isolation, and that's been big with the people that I've been seeing, my clients.
Right.
They feel like, okay, I'm with people, but I still feel alone.
Yeah.
You know, you hear people say that they could be in a room full of people but still feel alone.
Mm-hmm. And those are some of those mental disorders.
Yeah.
And everybody goes through it. And it's not necessarily being in a relationship, whether it's a
Right.
male-woman relationship. It can be just the fact that my mental state is just not there because I'm dealing with maybe some depression.
Mm-hmm.
And those things, again, being mindful of that, being mindful of your family members and when
Yes.
that changes, and checking on people, because
That's a big one.
with the loneliness, what I found is that more older adults are dealing with that now. When they're retired, not
Right.
going to work on a
That's so
daily
true.
basis, and not being as active. And then in the winter months, a lot of them are afraid to go outside because they're afraid of falling. And it's simple stuff like
Right.
that. And then if they're getting, isolated at home, then they get into the depression, and their suicide rates have gone up.
Yeah.
I hate to take it to that extreme, but
It
that's
is.
what
That's
it is.
facts. Yeah.
Yeah. So got to be, kind of mindful, and then checking up on people.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you can be lonely in a room of 100 people. So that's something different, and you need to get checked out and follow up on that.
Maybe you need a new room. Is what I'm saying.
What you said?
Maybe you need to be in a different room.
Oh
I mean,
gosh.
I go back to you gotta rotate. You know what I mean? You gotta interact with a lot of different people. You know,
Rotate.
if you
That's true.
if you find you just the same people all the time doing the same
will get
stuff,
bored.
you know what
Real
I mean?
quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You'll get bored. Yeah. And find some different hobbies. I think that the beginning of the year is a good time to find
Right.
something new that you want to try, even if it's just for a couple months for that winter season.
Yeah.
Find a new hobby.
Something.
And that's something to look forward to. That's something to learn, and that's stimulating those brain cells to, get more involved.
Right.
So you can be by yourself, just the opposite way.
Yeah.
You can be by yourself and feel like, hey, I'm connected to everything.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
By having different activities to look forward to. So,
Good points.
Definitely,
And you
yeah.
got to be intentional. You
Oh,
know, like find your people, find your tribe, find your support system.
supports. Yeah.
Because again, I mean, nobody wants to be by themselves, and it doesn't mean you have to be in like this romantic relationship.
Right.
But it's just a matter of connecting to people that you can relate to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I say this too, I think as adults, especially we mentioned young adults struggling more with this
Yes.
kind of stuff. I feel like that's when we stop playing. You know what I mean? As adults, we
yeah.
forget how to play.
Yeah.
Point.
You know, once play becomes work, we ain't got time for it. You gotta go, you gotta make money. You got bills coming in. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times we, especially like young adults, that whole you have to have everything figured out by 18.
Oh my gosh,
You're an
that's a
adult
big
now. You got to know what you're supposed to do, what
Yeah.
you're supposed to be, and all that other stuff. And I think there's a lot of pressure to
Yeah.
put on kids.
It is. There's
Yeah.
a lot of pressure to put on adults.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
when you don't have that time
Yeah.
to be, so to speak, be a kid again.
Yeah.
Because
So,
that makes
yeah.
a difference. And if you think about it, kids used to play all the time.
All the time.
Had recess every day.
Yeah.
And why can't we we
Right.
do that?
Come on.
Have recess and take a nap.
Yeah.
During the workday. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
No, and
That would be
fun
nice.
is the reward for learning. You
There
know
we
what I
go.
mean? I think that again we forget how to play, and I think that if you're constantly seeking to play and connecting with others, and being proactive,
downtime.
protecting your
Yes.
mental health, and also asking the questions. If I think a lot of people they get caught up in the shame of it all,
Yeah. That's a big one
and you know what I mean, and feel guilt, and instead of actually being proactive and doing something about it,
Right.
they mask it or they try to escape with the drugs and the alcohol or the
Every time.
video games or you know what I mean, all kinds of different escapes. So yeah, but I think it's one of those things too where a lot of people don't understand it until they go through it.
Right.
You know, and so you don't know what it really is until you actually feel depression. You know, some of the kids I work with, their parents understand because they went through depression,
Right.
or they haven't went through depression, but they know what it is. So they'll say something. Well, I understand. Everybody gets down. Just get over it. You know what I mean?
wrong
That's
thing to
not.
say.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
say
not.
that,
That's not
right.
gonna help.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And maybe we can think about that, bringing a play day, kid play day for adults.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, because we do need that time. And unfortunately, we get too busy trying to multitask, worrying with the kids, worrying with the job place, and we don't have that downtime. But
Right.
we can learn a lot from kids and the way they operate by incorporating that. And we should think about doing something like that really soon.
Yes, very soon.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with taking like mental health days.
No, not at all.
Man.
Work hard, play hard, man.
Come on
And
now.
I work hard, so I gotta play hard.
Come on.
And I gotta play hard, so I gotta work hard. So,
Yes.
but it does take balance, I think, in all things. So yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a whole lot. You know, if you say, okay, I'm going to take this time off on a Wednesday in the middle of the week,
Right.
you know, I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to eat a nice breakfast, get
Yeah.
the kids off to school. I'm just going to do me today.
Take care of you.
That's it.
And that should be regularly. We should have that me time daily.
right.
Not a whole day from work every day,
Right.
but
But if
maybe
you have a
take-
daily,
yeah,
maybe you don't need that whole day. You know what I'm saying?
that's true. So like maybe 10 minutes at the end of the day,
Right.
you know, and have that self-care, and it shouldn't cost anything.
Shouldn't.
You know,
Right.
and if you want to do something that, you know, you want to splurge a little bit every
Yeah.
now and then, that's fine. But every day we should have those moments of self-care for 5 or 10 minutes just to decompress from everything that's gone on
Yes.
that day and have those moments. I think that would do a lot of us some good.
And it goes back to having that balance.
Balance,
you know.
right.
And so, again, you got to be intentional. Like, what does this look like during the week for me to
me.
be? Yes, for me
Yeah.
to take this downtime.
Right.
And I talk to a lot of moms. You know, especially new moms. They feel like they can't take that time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no, you have to, because you can't be there for your baby, your children,
Right.
in the best way that you can if you're not taking care of yourself.
That's true.
True.
It's just a different reframe. And so it's just a matter of, okay, I'm going to take this time, especially if you are married, got a husband, whoever, take advantage of that, you know, or alternate.
Right.
Because your partner needs that time as well. So it's okay to alternate times to, you know, making sure that you're filling up your cup.
Right. So you can show up better for others.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And this will help decrease the depression, the anxiety, feeling stressed, feeling overwhelmed. But again, you got to be intentional, because life is always happening.
Yeah, man.
So what are some of the things you like to do to decompress?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. So I'm a mom, so I got my little baby, 2-year-old. So once I put him to sleep, it's all about me now.
Right.
And so, you know, taking my bath or my shower, you know, watching my favorite show,
Right.
or just, you know, reading, just chilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't do nothing if he's up. So he's a toddler. So for me, it helps to just be able to get him ready for bed. He's off sleeping, and then I can focus on me.
Right.
Nice.
And I need that.
As we all do.
Yeah. How about y'all?
How about you, Miss Tammy?
Yeah.
How about me?
What do you do?
I like exercising one, but I do like reading as well.
Yeah.
Favorite shows, I won't name them here, and they're junk shows, but that's
But
good.
we
It's
watch it
okay.
together though.
That's okay.
And junk shows,
Yeah.
you know, you can just kind of vent on them.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
No
With that
emotional
craziness.
pressure.
Right.
The
Junk shows. I love my hot or warm to hot baths without a time limit.
Yes.
And then every now and then I'll do the spa.
Ooh.
The,
Yeah.
Get you a
I
spa day?
don't know if I can say the name on there, but
Yeah,
yes.
get
a
you a little spa day.
I
That's
love
And
good.
then
it.
I purposely, when I make my spa day, I purposely won't put anything else on my schedule.
I love it.
After that. So when I have a spa day, I'm just going to go home and just chill and take the rest of it in. So,
I love it.
Nice.
but daily, just kind of reading
Yeah.
chilling out. Yeah, that's always
Need
good.
that. It's a recharge.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Your turn.
So
Yeah.
yeah, for me, man, I'm always trying to find new stuff to do to
I
have
know.
fun.
Yes, I
But,
love that.
You know, you name it though, like art, music, movies,
yeah.
video games, watching shows with the kids and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exercise is always good, you know, but also taking that break from exercise, giving myself that
Yeah.
permission to just not do nothing, you know.
Yeah.
I love cooking too. I love
Oh, that's
cooking
a great
because I love to eat. So
I
I
love
mean, if you want to eat good, you got to cook good.
Come
You know what I'm
on,
saying?
yes.
So, and again, it's different. I've worked in all these restaurants, you know. So, but it's different when you take the time to cook and put the love into it, you know, and explore new
flavors,
recipes. And
yeah.
definitely. So, yeah, it's man, that's a lot of stuff I
Traveling.
love to do.
When the weather's good.
I know.
Yeah.
I love traveling. Yeah. Yes.
And I've been I mentioned exercising, but I've been sat down in the last 3 months or so. I was in a boot, and that was very frustrating for me because it was part of the regular routine, and I found myself kind of thinking, hey, I need to get back to that.
Right.
But I've been on or out of commission for about 3 months. I'm hoping to get back at it
There you go.
about another month or so.
Yeah. So if we have a young mom who is watching our show right now, hi, thank you for joining us. And they got, children, maybe, toddlers, and don't have that extra support. What can that parent, she do if she is feeling overwhelmed or feeling stressed or feeling burnt out?
I will say, just by past experience, have a routine for the kids, especially the little ones. Have a
Yes.
routine for them so they can be in bed at a certain time. Toddlers, 7 o'clock is good.
Real good.
Real good. So I would say first have a routine for them, because if they're not on a schedule and they just
Right.
go to sleep whenever they fall asleep, that's a whole problem.
I agree.
So have a routine for them so you can have those moments at the end of the day, couple hours to yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
So I would say get the routine going for them like clockwork, even on the weekends.
Right.
Because you need that downtime, like you said, to rejuvenate.
And I think kind of part of that routine, I think it's good to, do things like read with them before they go to
I
bed.
love that.
You know, get the jammies on, brush teeth, wash your face,
Right.
stuff like that. Because then it becomes almost like this routine.
And they're
And it helps
expecting
them
it.
to settle down and get
relax.
ready for bed. Yep.
Right.
And so, there's all this research out there about reading to babies and how it helps
yeah.
stimulate their brain and everything. So,
Right.
Yeah.
definitely.
And get them ready, and at night, 7
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
So we already know it's going to be a challenge, but again, it's possible. It's doable.
And I say, too, you are entitled to 60 seconds in the bathroom by yourself.
Come on.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
at
It's
least.
60 seconds. You can take them, throughout the day periodically, but you can put them in the car seat. You know what I'm saying?
Sit 'em by the door.
You know what I'm saying? Right there. Hey, you
By the
good.
door,
I'm
right
telling you,
here.
we've all had to do it as parents. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, that's right.
So yeah, you can take your 60 seconds to go breathe for a second.
What you doing?
Come back. right. Don't worry about it. I'm not taking calls right now. I'm not taking requests. The DJ is shut down for a minute. So
That's it.
spin your own records. But no, I'm just saying. You can't take care of nobody else if you don't take
Thank
care of
you.
yourself.
That's
You can't lift nobody up if you falling apart.
Come
so
on, that's right.
you got to. You got to. Really.
Come on. You don't have to be super mom, super woman, super dad.
But
We're all human and we all go through stuff. It's just a matter of recognizing that, okay, I could be honest with myself first and then be able to, to seek that help and get the help that I need for me. So that makes
right.
sense.
That's right.
Well, and again, just like with the routine, the consistency.
Yes,
I think it's
yes.
with taking care of yourself, your self care.
Right.
All that. Being consistent is key. Exercise, consistency.
Yes.
You don't go just hard in the gym one day and then don't go for 6 months.
I'm not-
You know what I mean?
It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Consistency. Just like with parenting. Again,
Yeah.
it's about consistency, and so yeah,
This is a good topic, y'all. This is really good.
it branches into so many areas.
It
You know what I'm saying?
does. So if you're just now joining us, we're talking about seasonal affective disorder, a common disorder that a lot of us deal with, that sometimes don't even realize. And so we're just talking about how can we, acknowledge this is what we're going through right now, and it's okay to ask for help. and knowing that there's tools, that I can use on a regular. Doesn't take a whole lot of money or anything like that. These are just simple techniques that you can incorporate in your daily life, so you can maintain your mental and your emotional health and physical, because it's all connected.
Right.
So should we review like this?
Let's go back
solutions
to the
or the things to help with seasonal affective disorder.
Let's
we can
do
do
it.
that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
So sleep, right? Getting a regular sleep, good sleep hygiene,
Right.
Getting outside, exercise, aerobic activity, taking a walk,
Being active.
getting some sunshine, getting some light,
Yes.
in the early parts of the day. What else?
Making sure you're eating.
Yes.
Yeah,
Eating.
Balanced diet.
Please, yes.
Eating most of the right foods.
Right.
The
Yes.
vegetables, the fruits, and putting some water into your body, because that plays a huge part in your brain health.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah.
Drinking the appropriate amount of water for you, for your size and what have you, because that does stimulate your mental health.
That's
That's
it.
true.
That's it.
Yeah, and those are some of the things we've shared. Walking is free, it's easy, it's
Very
the
easy.
easiest thing that we can do. And if we can't get outside, say at the workplace, do the hallways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then I say even increasing your pace every few days.
Yeah.
Increasing your pace and the distance, because that makes a difference.
That's right. And making sure that you're just listening to your body, because your body going to let you know when you're stressed, when you're feeling overwhelmed. So what I mean, when you listen to your body, am I getting headaches? Am I, my appetite is off? Or am I feeling stressed in my shoulders, in my neck? Am I tensing up? And so being able just to listen to your body will let you know, like, okay, there's something up. I need to really pay attention to this, because it's all connected.
True.
So these are great points, y'all.
Yeah,
Okay, so again, seasonal affective disorder is a real thing that a lot of us deal with, and we just went through just common basic interventions that you can try and just incorporate in your daily life. It's just a matter of you got to be intentional, because it's not going to work if you're not intentional.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And knowing when to seek professional help.
Yes, that's right.
Important. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
One thing that does come to mind, I read a study, I want to say it was the World Health Organization, that said up to 10% of patients report to their doctor that they are suffering from some type of seasonal disorder, seasonal affective disorder. And with the history of depression, it was at 15%. So 15% of their patients were reporting struggling with seasonal affective disorder. So again, it is pretty prevalent.
It is. Come on. In older adults and in our young people. So again, it's just a matter of speaking up, because nobody won't know what you're going through until you say something. So there's no shame. This is something that a lot of us deal with. So this is what we're here for, to educate, to inform, and empower our community when it comes to mental health, because this is something we don't want to continue to put shame on or feel like we got to just stuff it under the rug. Like, we want to talk about it. We want to embrace it.
Yeah.
Right.
This is life. We're all going through it.
And it starts with education. If any of this stuff sounds like something you're struggling with, dealing with, someone else is dealing with, then it's time to say something to somebody.
Please.
Please, yes.
All right.
And pay attention to your loved ones.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right. So, again, thank you for joining us. Your Mental Health Matters. We'll be right back with you guys on the third Friday of this month with another great topic. And so, again, thank you for joining us. Your Mental Health Matters.
Protect your mind.
Protect your mind.